What's up, Raider Nation? Raiders Primos is back, and we got a lot to dive in today. Let's talk about it. Salute, Raider Nation. It is your boy, Raider Ed, again, back here with another live show. If this is your first time joining the Boricua party and talking Raiders football with Raiders Primos, please think about hitting that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Hit that like on the way in. Also, hit that bell so you guys are not missing anything in the future for live shows or short videos that we may drop. I want to give my salutes to Sean Johnson. Me and him have been going back and forth all week, just discussing of all that has been released, to the John Gruden rumors, to the Josh McDaniels and Ziegler article, to who could be the quarterback in 2024. The quarterback situation is what I want to dive into tonight. It may cause a lot of for debate, but I want to hear your thoughts, Nation. Salute to my man Van City. I swear on my life, if Mark brings back Gruden, I will break shit. Van City, me and you both, man. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to dive right into it. I'm going to hear your thoughts, get the opinions from the nation. This is why I'm coming on. I want to hear from you guys. I've been really doing research, as a lot of research, and hopefully it pays off in this live video, especially to the quarterback situation, because I want to make a case for Aiden OConnell. But I also want to make a case for why the Raiders, they must draft a quarterback in the 2024 draft. Sean says, Van City, John Gruden coming back, and so is DC. The band's getting back together. Oh, Sean, you're about to give Van City a heart attack. He probably is going to break his laptop right now. Van City, don't do it. Don't do it, brother. Do not break your laptop. But who is ready to dive in to some Raiders news? Let's start into with the Gruden rumors. An insider from the RaidersBeat.com, salute to RaidersBeat.com for providing this article. There is an insider that says a lot of people think Mark Davis would love to bring John Gruden back to the Raiders. And I quote from this article: Mark Davis hasn't said much since he's fired Josh McDaniels, but he did say that he doesn't have anyone specifically in mind to be the Raiders' next head coach. Not everyone is buying that notion, though, and some think that the Raiders owner might have John Gruden on the mind again. According to Sports Illustrated Hondo Carpenter on the Las Vegas Raiders Insider podcast, Gruden has the NFL backpedaling with his lawsuit against the league, and it could ultimately lead to his return as a head coach. And I quote, I am going to tell you there are a lot of people who feel that Mark Davis, more than Tom Brady and Jim Gray, the person he trusts the most is John Gruden, and would love to bring him back. I am hearing from multiple people around the league that if John were willing to drop his lawsuit, they believe the NFL would give a passive nod to go back and rehire him. Everyone keeps talking about John Gruden. If he chooses not to return to the NFL, some think Gruden could have an opportunity with this lawsuit to bring down some of the most powerful figures in the league, including the commissioner. More from Honda. And I quote from Honda. He said, a lot of people believe that John Gruden's lawsuit is going to take Roger Goodell out and is going to embarrass a lot of people. Now that Nevada court continues to support Gruden's lawsuit, and now it's coming up on potential discovery, and if you know anything about the legal system in discovery, John's going to be able to ask any question he wants. It doesn't even have to be about him. He can say, I want to talk to this owner. I want to talk to that owner. I'd like to talk to Roger Goodell or whomever. And John Gruden knows where everybody is buried in the NFL. So that is the article, you guys, from the RaidersBeat.com. And there is the rumors now coming alive that John Gruden may be on his way back to the Las Vegas Raiders. And just like Van City, I am highly, highly against it. Why? John Gruden Started off 4-12 when he came back, and then he went 7-9, 8-8, and then 3-2 before he was relieved of his duties in 2021. He did look like he had Derek Carr as going back to that MVP caliber quarterback that we fell in love with in 2016. And he also had Henry Ruggs looking like he was about to be one of the next top 10 wide receivers in the NFL before he was relieved of duties. He had this team trending in the right direction, but ultimately it left on a sour note. Not on the Raiders and his relationship, but more from the NFL and John Gruden's relationship. Now, what does this mean for the Raiders? Well, they're just going to keep going into the rearview mirror. I've said this time and time again with players that I'm tired of us going to go get players that formerly played on the Raiders and then they just come back. Or, even with the Marcus Peters situation, he grew up loving the Oakland Raiders, and now he came to the Raiders and he was playing half-ass out there. I'm tired of just going in the rearview mirror, or they have connections to the Raiders organization. Let's get a brand new face. Let's have a new voice from a players and a coaching standpoint. Let's leave the Gruden rumors under the bed. And Mark Davis, if there is any truth to these rumors, do not do it. Do not bring John Gruden back because you're trying to sell tickets in Allegiant Stadium because you need a big name. No, if you want to win, go and get a young, fresh name out there. Bring in Antonio Pierce back if he wins the amount of gets the Raiders to 8 to 9 wins. Or go and get another fresh young face as a head coach for the Raiders for the foreseeable future. But going back into the rearview mirror, going back to nostalgia, I'm done with that. Let's do something new because nostalgia, you know what it done for us, Mark Davis? 20 years of losing. We have not won anything when we went to the rearview mirror. When we went to the Raiders trash of the past 20 years. Let's start fresh, start new, and let's start it this season. Sean says, it's just rumors. He's not coming back. We got to start a brand new thing. No more old shit. I agree, Sean. We got to start something new. We need to stop going into the rearview mirror, like I said, going into the past, digging up our past just to bring more fans. Like Mark Davis, that's what you're showing me. If you're going to hire John Gruden back, you're showing me all you care about is selling tickets. All you care about is the money that's coming in your pocket because you want that nostalgia so fans can go to Allegiant Stadium and see this John Gruden team. Well, you know what they're going to probably see? They're probably going to see more losing. Losing after losing after losing. Going back to the past has not worked, Mark. Try something new. Salute to AP for pulling up. If Gruden came back, I would stop watching football. Last thing I need to be seeing is run, pass every single drive. And AP, we're doing that right now, my brother. Like, I'm tired of that too. Like, did Gruden have the Raiders in the right trajectory? Yes, he did. His offense seemed to start catching fire in his fourth season, but his play calling was still skeptical. He beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, which was in 2020, but outside of that, he didn't beat the Chiefs at all. He had one win under his belt, and I seen a tweet out there on and it was from, not going to name names because once I seen who tweeted it made sense what the tweet was. But it said John Gruden, he beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and then a year later he gets kicked out because of the emails and all that. And he was like, is it a coincidence? I'm like, there's probably a coincidence to that, but he beat the Chiefs one time out of, 8, 9 times he's played them? 4 or 5 times he's played them. I'm not taking one win over 5 losses. Like, no, if he lost to them one time and had 5 wins, then that's a different story. But we need to stop overhyping these guys. And I might overhype AP a little bit, but I've said he's got to get this team to at least 8, 9 wins, and then you can start considering him to bring him back as the head coach. But he's got to win these upcoming games. He's at least got to go 4. He's got to go 4-1, or at least he can do is 3-2. Hondo made a huge statement. This head coaching decision is a defining legacy moment. It is, Sean. Like, you're not wrong. Like, it is. Like, you can't keep going to the past. Like, Mark, if you want to fulfill your legacy and be not known as Al Davis' son, build your own legacy. Go get your guy. Go get the guy that you want to bring back, but also listen to the players, because Michael Irvin said it best. You need to get a coach that connects with the players, a coach that doesn't connect with you. You need a coach that connects with the players. Do not go get a coach that connects with you. And AP is exactly that. He connects to the players. And what I like about AP, he's not going to put up with any BS. Marcus Peters is giving half-ass effort out there. Cut the next day. Teamer gets in a DUI the morning before the game. Cut the day after. Like, him and Champ Kelly are not playing. And he said it best. He says, you outside and in, like, on and off the field, you represent the Shield. Like, you represent the Shield. There is some respect to the Shield, to the Raiders logo. You have to honor that not only the loyalty, but honor that respect to the Shield on and off the field. And I love that. AP is like the definition of what a true Raiders coach is and what I'm looking for. Now, if he does get the head coaching bid, go get yourself a solidified offensive coordinator, a great one, experienced one that can call plays in today's game, in 2023's NFL. Because it's not only 2 wide receivers and then go. Like, no, we're seeing 4 wide receiver sets, 5s. Like, they are using the entire field to their advantage. That is the offenses that are not today. But we're also going to talk about quarterbacks, you guys. We're going to talk about quarterbacks. Van City, promote Champ and AP. Champ manages, AP coaches. Go hit free agency hard. Jalen Johnson, Daniel Hunter, etc. Trade up to grab Aiden Daniels and let's roll. And we are going to talk about quarterbacks. You just reminded me, Van City, about Aiden Daniels. I wanted to do shout out to Sean Johnson. He did send me the past rookie quarterbacks in 2023. I'm going to try to see if I can break down the quarterbacks coming out in 2024. Of course, I want to do that after the season, but I'm gonna have to start doing my research on that because we definitely got to draft a quarterback, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. But y'all gotta stay tuned, be patient. Let's talk about many other news. AP says the game is changing. Stop going old school. It doesn't work anymore. The only way that works is if you have a Mike Tomlin or someone like that. AP, you're absolutely right. I said it in the past shows, and I've said it talking with Nate, that the Raiders have not adapted to today's NFL. They haven't adapted at all. They kept trying to go for pocket passers. They kept having to have a 3-down back, a bell cow at the running back position, and then only 2 wide receivers. And you do have slot receivers, but they don't utilize them so much. And it's 2 tight end set, but 2 wide receivers with the I formation. That is old NFL. Now, do I love running the football and being physical? Yes, I do. But it is a passing league now where most of the NFL rules benefit the offense. So what's going on right now, Mark Davis? Look at your offense. They are struggling to score, and it was mostly based on Josh McDaniels and his old play calling. You will get the same exact thing with John Gruden. Honda made a statement, you don't come to Las Vegas to learn how to become a coach. This is a hard place for a first-time head coach. It kind of makes sense. Sean, you know what's crazy? Las Vegas is likely going to be a hard place for any first-timer. Our rookies, anyone who hasn't been to Vegas at, free agency. We've had incident after incident after incident after incident since moving to Vegas. Josh Jacobs, Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, just had Teamer, Nate Hobbs with this DUI after DUI after DUI. Like, what happened? Now, the Raiders are just getting in trouble in Vegas. So it's going to be hard. From a coaching standpoint, it could be hard to keep, the team in check from the nightlife in Vegas. But I believe AP, by releasing Teamer and releasing Marcus Peters, that speaks highly of AP and the energy that he's going to bring to the Raiders locker room, the culture, the understanding that you guys are professionals. Bring your A game on the field, but be professionals off the field. Be adult. Be responsible. That is what Antonio Pierce is setting. When you come here, you got a job to do, and it's not to half-ass and let people go right by you and not tackle and not be physical. With Teamer, don't be stupid. I know it's Vegas. It's the nightlife. Go have fun, but be responsible. And that's why I would like to keep Antonio Pierce. He's already setting that motion of what it means to be in the Raiders organization. Van City. Champ needs to get aggressive. Right now, we're stuck in the middle. It's the worst place to be, and the only way to get out of it is by being aggressive. Now, Van City, this is if Champ is, here after the season. As of right now, there's not really a lot of things he can do at the moment. But I believe you're right. Champ needs to get aggressive. Like, the Raiders need to go all in. This offseason can be so pivotal. So much money, many free agents coming out, and a draft that has a deep quarterback class, deep corners class. Salute to Graf Raider for filling me in on that on his live show. He said that this cornerback class is going to be a deep one. Can't wait to look at the rookies and see what that cornerback class is going to look like. I want to see Champ Kelly have this draft. I want to see Champ Kelly have this offseason, see what guys he can bring in. But Van City, before we talk about Champ Kelly, let's talk about our past GM, because there was another article that came out, and salute to Hondo Carpenter, deep dive into how Ziegler could have saved the Raiders. This is by Hondo Carpenter on SI.com. I'm going to acknowledge more of the chat. I want to get everyone's comments in there. So salute to Jerome Clemens. I don't think AP winning games will be a significant factor in keeping him. Due to this season being the old regime system and coaches, I believe Mark will hire him for his ability to run the team. Jerome could be absolutely right on that, because Hondo filled us in. Again, salute to Graf and Wasted, having an amazing show yesterday with Hondo Carpenter. Hondo said that right now they had to throw out 75% of Josh McDaniels' playbook. And he didn't work with Aiden a lot. Aiden didn't really know Josh McDaniels' playbook. Every week they are coming up with new plays. And this bye week is very, very important for Aiden, because now they're just adding more. They can add more plays without having to worry about playing a game. So you could be right on that. It's the old regime system, the play calling as with the offense. They still got that defense rolling. But from an offensive standpoint, this offense could not be trash because of AP. It's trash because of Josh McDaniels. It can't score because of Josh McDaniels. And hopefully, Jerome, Mark Davis sees that. And this is why I'm cutting AP a little slack, Bo Hardegree a little slack, because it's not their playbook. Like, yeah, they're adding plays, every week. But Hondo said most NFL teams have about this big of a playbook going into a game. This is the Raiders. This is your average NFL team. This is the Raiders right now. That is the Raiders. He said it is a very, very small playbook that they're running on Sundays. There's not a lot of freedom, and it's not like, there's no freedom. It's just that there's not a lot of plays that they can work with the rookie quarterback, a rookie offensive coordinator, and a rookie head coach. Great comment, Jerome. Great comment. AP, I'm hoping the Raiders trade up and grab a quarterback. Hopefully Drake may. We need to finally do it, because we are always rumored to, just like with Stroud. I hope the next regime gets it done. And you know what? Let's break down that situation, because again, salute to Hondo Carpenter for coming out with a fire article. Hondo, and I quote on the SI.com, Hondo says, as the cool chills of the autumn hung over Ford Field in Detroit on Devil's Night in the Motor City, it was a foreshadowing of the doom on the horizon to the Raiders' career of coach Josh McDaniels and general manager Dave Ziegler. What started as so promising had came crashing down after a series of brutal mistakes. Many found Ziegler and McDaniels to have polar opposite opinions, but both were married to errors. Both men are no longer part of the silver and black, and in talking to people around the NFL, both men are presently being painted with the same brush by many. Ziegler is not employed today by the Raiders because he didn't do enough to differentiate himself from McDaniels, but it isn't fair to equate them as peas in a pod. Great friends, no doubt. But should they be on the same page of responsibility as to what led to the demise of their Raiders' careers? No. Raiders today talked to numerous sources about the relationship that failed miserably to operate one of the greatest franchises in the NFL. Standing at a podium on January 31st, 2022, Ziegler was asked how important it was for him to work with McDaniels. Ziegler had been a rare New England Patriot as he wasn't close to Bill Belichick. Hondo said he wrote at the time that a team source from New England told him that Dave is too nice of a guy to be here. But around the NFL, Ziegler was a rising star. Ziegler answered the question the way he always does. He was frank and calculated. I don't think it's a prerequisite, but there are some advantages to it, Ziegler said. I know Josh and my relationship goes back a long time, and our relationship has always been built on honesty and respect, and the ability to be each other's biggest teammate, and the ability to be each other's critic, too. That's a key statement right there. And to always come back to a place of respect and always come back to a place where we're on the same page. That's a funny statement that Ziegler said. Hondo writes, Ziegler didn't need McDaniels. McDaniels learned a lot as a head coach in Denver. He wasn't the arrogant young kid he once had been in the Mile High City. Convinced that he had learned, he needed a buffer. His great friend Ziegler has always been loyal to him. Going back to their days at John Carroll, McDaniels trusted him. Like a kid lying in a bed on Christmas Eve, McDaniels was convinced that it would be different with Ziegler by his side this time. Ziegler loved McDaniels. McDaniels loved Ziegler. And like any genuine relationship, they could talk. Other than Josh's dad and Bill, I don't think anyone can talk to Josh like Dave does. Dave has his ear and respect. A source close to both told him when the Raiders hired him. Now, let's fast forward a little bit into the article. This is where it kind of gets like Hondo just opens the door to Raider Nation and allows us to really get a deep dive into understanding of what happened behind closed doors between those two. However, disagreement started almost immediately, and Ziegler quickly learned that intent is not reality, and that McDaniels would have the final say. Ziegler wanted to be on the same page, but McDaniels wasted no time trusting his gut, rather than relying on his friend, as he was insisted on getting his way. One leak source said, quickly, Josh wanted his way and wouldn't budge. I think you could sum it up that Dave wanted to be a team, but Josh wanted his way. And I think the ambiguity of the relationship allowed Josh to steamroll him. Here are the top 10, but not all, of the disagreements Hondo wrote. Number 1, Jakob Johnson over Alec Ingold. Moments after the introductory press conference ended, the first signs of coming doom were made apparent. McDaniels wanted Ziegler to sign fullback Jakob Johnson. Ziegler explained that on his deep dive evaluation of the Raiders roster, Ingold was a significantly better option according to a Raiders team source. Dave tried emphatically to explain to Josh that Ingold was not only a better player, but respected in the locker room and revered in the community. I'm just gonna summarize these, you guys. There's more to the article, but I want to summarize that. I don't want to really take up too much time on the article. Number 2, the handling of owner Mark Davis. Hondo quotes, Josh was fearful of getting fired again, just like in Denver. And while he liked Mark Davis, the less he had to do with him, the better. Anytime Mark was around, his tension went up, was how one NFL source with direct knowledge of the situation told Raiders Today. The source continued, Dave was the opposite. Unlike McDaniels, Ziegler had not been close to Belichick. It wasn't imbued in all of his thinking. He liked Mark. He felt the more Mark was included and involved, the better it would be. He loved it when Davis was around, whereas Josh was uncomfortable. Number 3, the fear of failure. While this is not a popular sentiment among Raider Nation, McDaniels learned from his failure in Denver. He had been arrogant and aloof and alienated himself from the entire organization. He wasn't arrogant in Las Vegas. I had previously reported that one of the Raiders organization had described to me as clueless, but to others said a fear of failure had gripped him since he signed the contract. The failure in Denver crushed Josh, but to his credit, he changed personally. A leak source said the problem was that it was almost PTSD-ish in how he changed. There were a couple of times between him getting hired and their first game, and both times he mentioned getting fired. I thought, the dude just signed a 6-year deal for big dough, so what are you afraid of? It made no sense to me. For Ziegler, it was different. He had no fear of being fired. He understood the mandate Davis gave them and felt being bold and aggressive was the key. Ziegler saw failure in the Patriot way, while McDaniels saw comfort. Number 4, Jimmy G versus Jarrett Stidham and Jacoby Brissett. After the Raiders decided to move on from Derek Carr and circumstances had changed, with Tom Brady coming to the desert, Las Vegas was in a predicament. Ziegler knew he could re-sign Jarrett Stidham, who wanted to return, and he was confident he could sign Jacoby Brissett and let the two men compete for the starting job. Additionally, we will address this in the next point. Ziegler wanted to move up in the NFL draft and pick quarterback C.J. Stroud. Ziegler was confident in his plan. He was hopeful that Stroud could be the future. Stidham had a firm grasp of the offense, and Brissett would give Ziegler the mobility he felt was missing. Josh wanted nothing to do with that plan, according to a league source. Bill loved Garoppolo, so that meant Josh would. He was hell-bent on Jimmy G, and despite all of the health issues that he had and Dave's insistent warnings that it was a mistake, Josh got his way. Number 5, and we're going to finish here. There's 10 points, but go check it out on SI.com. Mark Davis, Dave Ziegler, a deep dive on the relationship from Hondo Carpenter. Amazing, amazing article. Number 5, Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud. This is the big one, you guys. Big, big debate. The future of the Raiders versus McDaniels' fear of failure was displayed during the draft. Ziegler loved then assistant general manager Champ Kelly, and an excellent evaluator and talent. More important to Ziegler was that Kelly wasn't a yes man. He was a true team player with a strong voice, and Ziegler respected him. Entering the draft, McDaniels already had overruled Ziegler at the quarterback position. Ziegler had no faith that Garoppolo could stay healthy and felt he wasn't the quarterback to take the team into the future. Evaluating all the quarterbacks in the draft, Ziegler loved Stroud. Dave felt he was a generational talent, and Kelly loved him. Z had done his research, a source said. He knew the cost to move up to number 1 and even number 2. He felt the cost was cheap, and he was willing to do almost anything that didn't include Max Crosby. He and Josh agreed that the price for number 1 was too high, but Z wanted to move up to number 2 and grab Stroud. He could have made the deal. He also knew Stroud would allow McDaniels to show the fans and the owner that an identity would be established. Josh was willing to move up for Bryce Young, but as expected, he went number 1, and Stroud to the Raiders had been long dead. While it was far too early to make final grades on Stroud and Young, early indicators are that Ziegler was again correct. So I want to finish there, you guys. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this situation. That last part for me was really what got me upset, and also why I said that Ziegler should have stayed here, but it was understanding why they both were fired. They came as one, they got fired as one. But Ziegler really knew how to evaluate talent, and maybe you could argue with the Tyree Wilson pick. It seems Tyree Wilson wasn't even really on their radar. C.J. Stroud was the number 1 guy they wanted to get. At least Ziegler wanted to get. But Josh McDaniels got in the way. Sean says, I wouldn't be totally against Frank Reich for OC. Yeah, we're going to talk about offensive coordinators another time. Jerome says, believe with the team being so down with AP if Mark doesn't hire him. He will lose the locker room before the next staff even comes in. This will be another Rich Bisaccia and Josh McDaniels situation, Jerome, essentially, right? AP, if you don't keep Pierce, my top candidate will be Ben Johnson or Eric Bieniemy, Dan Quinn, and I really like Jeff Ulbrich, the Jets DC, but we will see. And we will, AP. The thing is, we got to see these next 5 games. Like, we got to see if Antonio Pierce can win those games that he should win. The Vikings are not going to be a walkover. The Chargers are not going to be a walkover. You still got the Broncos and the Chiefs. Like, these next 5 games are going to be tough, but is he going to finish the season strong? Yeah, we started off slow, and it seems too many losses are piling up with the Josh McDaniels time here earlier in the season. But let's gain momentum going into next season, right? That's what I'm hoping we need to see. Sean John said, I was thinking we should move to a West Coast system. What do you think? And Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. What system does Bill Musgrave run? The reason why I'm asking that is because Bill Musgrave in 2015 and 2016, he took Derek Carr and a 32nd ranked offense from the prior year and made them into a top 15 offense in 1 year. And then in 2016, a top 5 offense. And I don't know if that was a West Coast system, Sean, because isn't it the same system that Kyle Shanahan runs? And I got to see, let me see what system Bill Musgrave runs. Because that was the last time we had Bill Musgrave offensive scheme. Musgrave, his rush offense uses a heavy dose of zone running design, such as the outside zone. Let me see what. Yeah, he does run. He does run a West Coast offense. So, Sean, Bill Musgrave ran a West Coast offense, and that was the last time that we can honestly say we had a Raiders offense that can score at any point. They are up, like the 2016 offense will be up where like the Chiefs are or the Bengals are, or the Dolphins are, where they can score at any moment, score at any time, catch fire at any time. That's how lethal that offense was. We remember it. And you might be onto something, Sean. I think I would not be against the West Coast system. I wouldn't. I would not be against it. Van City said, Hondo broke the internet with that article. Good job, Hondo. Hey, yeah, bro, Hondo is the GOAT. I subscribe to his channel. If you guys don't know what it is, I believe it is Lost. It's a long one. I'll tell you that right now. Let me find it for y'all. Let me put it in the chat. In case you guys are not followed to the man Hondo, I don't know what y'all are doing, but please go subscribe to him. It is the Las Vegas Raiders Insider on YouTube. I'm about to put it in the chat. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm about to put it in the chat for you guys right now. I got to go to... Sorry, you guys. I'm like navigating. Here, let me... Okay, there you guys go. There's the link. Go subscribe to the man Hondo Carpenter. If you guys haven't already, man is giving incredible information from behind closed doors that we will never get to hear about, only from Hondo Carpenter himself. AP, I hate our organization, man. Why do we always bring in egomaniacs? McDaniels got to be the worst Raiders coach of all time. And AP, that is my opinion on his article. It just shows me how terrible of a coach that Josh McDaniels was. Like, Ziegler knew how to scout talent, and this is why I'm all for bringing Champ Kelly back, because it seems Champ Kelly had, he had a say in C.J. Stroud also with Ziegler. Josh McDaniels cut them both and was like, "No, I want Bryce Young, and if there's no Bryce Young, then there's nobody. There's no quarterback." However, they did agree on Aiden OConnell, you guys. They did agree on Aiden OConnell, but where they disagreed was C.J. Stroud. And I feel that was the biggest blow to the Raiders. You go get C.J. Stroud. That Ziegler is right. That sets an identity for not only the Raiders, but the team that McDaniels and Ziegler want to build. And it showed that McDaniels wanted his way or no way. And it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Van City said, remember how throughout the offseason, there were moves made that some of us strongly didn't believe were made by Z. Hondo confirmed this for us in the article. And Van City, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right, man. I remember we were talking about those calls, and you would say it. You would say it. Like, you were like, I don't believe this is a Ziegler signing. This has Josh McDaniels written all over it. Van City called it, man. Sean Johnson says Wash. And Bill Wash, his West Coast offense was ball control offense that featured short passes and quick slanting pass routes by receivers and running backs. This resulted in coverage mismatches and space for the backs and receivers to break long runs. Wash was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on November 16th, 2026. And Sean, that's what I've been asking for with Aiden OConnell. I think that is the system that Aiden OConnell will flourish in. And can he throw the deep ball? Of course, we've seen it. He can. He can throw the deep ball. But I think short passes, slants, that is what's going to work for him right now. Could we, develop him to maybe hold on to the ball a little bit more where he could, get some more intermediate, some more deep ball connections? Maybe. I would want Pep Hamilton as our OC. He is great with young quarterbacks. Andrew Luck had his best season under Pep. Herbert had an historical rookie season with him, and even had Davis Mills balling. He's my guy. Anyone, AP, I'll take anybody that is an experienced head coach. I want to do homework more on the offensive coordinators, but thank you for adding another guy to my list. Sean says, it's got to be facts. Do you see how Dave Ziegler distanced himself throughout the season? You hardly saw Ziegler. I think he was pissed at McDaniels. And what's funny, Sean? We all was, guessing that. And I think Dave started getting done. Especially, how you think Dave felt seeing CJ Stroud having the Houston Texans at a winning record right now? Seeing CJ Stroud putting up the numbers that he's putting up. Zeke is probably sitting back and like, he should be doing that for the Raiders. He should be throwing that to Trey Tucker. He should be throwing those, scoring touchdowns with Devontae Adams. That probably was a gut check for Ziegler. Ziegler should have put his foot down and told Josh, no, we are getting Stroud. If you believe that's the guy of the future, as a GM, go get that guy. Yeah, no, Van City, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. McDaniels had the final say. It wasn't Ziegler that had the final say. And just like I called the Ziegler thing, my man, I'm calling this right now. Champ Kelly and Antonio Pierce are the guys that will turn this team into a consistent winner. And Van City, this is when we're going to talk about the quarterback position, because a lot of people are not liking Champ Kelly and Antonio Pierce, and they want them gone after 2 straight losses. Some people want Aiden OConnell, saying he is a career backup. He is not the future starter of the Raiders after 2 losses. They're 2-2. Aiden O'Connell's 2-3, and it starts this season. So let's take a deep dive on this, you guys. Let's take a deep dive on this. Sean says the Patriot scheme and the Earnhardt-Perkins system is too complicated and no fun. You're absolutely right. And yeah, AP, he would have. He would have. I think no matter what, he would have. But Van, so let's get into this, you guys. Salute to my man Sean Johnson. He did some research for me. Complete list of every quarterback pick from the 2023 NFL Draft. Bryce Young went number 1. CJ Stroud, number 2. Anthony Richardson, number 4. Will Levis, number 33. Hendon Hooker at 68. Jake Haener at 127. Stetson Bennett at 128. Aiden O'Connell at 135. Clayton Tune at 139. Dorian Thompson-Robinson at 140. Sean Clifford at 149. Jaron Hall at 164. Tanner McKee at 188. Out of this entire list, we can honestly say CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson were probably the 2 quarterbacks that were going to come out of this draft as having the most potential to really grasp, take the NFL by storm. CJ Stroud is balling right now. Anthony Richardson, before he got injured, he looked like he was having the potential to become a star also. Now, the reason why I bring this up, you guys, I've also made a list, but this list is starting quarterbacks as of right now. And where they were drafted and what was their record in their rookie year and what is the record currently. So I want to know if you guys are ready to hear this. And I think I just said ready twice. I'm sorry, you guys. As we get on the live show. So let's start with the AFC West. We have the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. He was drafted in the 2017 draft in the first round, 10th overall, after the Chiefs have traded from the 27th pick to the 10th overall pick. They traded up 17 spots. In Patrick Mahomes' first 17 starts, he was 13-4. In 2023, he is 8-3. Chargers Justin Herbert was drafted in 2020 in the first round in the 6th overall. He had a 6-9 rookie record and is 4-7 as of right now. Russell Wilson was drafted in the 3rd round in 2012, 75th overall, 11-5 record with Seattle, 6-5 with the Broncos. Jimmy G, drafted in the 2014 draft, round 2, 62 overall to New England. And I didn't put up his stats because he's Jimmy G. And also, I want to focus on the rookies. Aiden OConnell, 2-3. He was drafted in the 4th round, 135th overall. I'm going to do the AFC first, guys, and then we're going to break down the NFC. AFC North, Deshaun Watson, 1st round in the 2017 NFL Draft, 12th overall. He was 3-4 before getting injured, and then he is 6-3 before also getting injured. Joe Burrow was 2-8 and 1 in his rookie year, and 5-5 both times before getting injured. He was the 1st overall pick in 2020. Lamar Jackson was drafted as a 32nd overall pick in the 2018 draft. He was 6-1 in his rookie year, 9-3 in this season. Kenny Pickett, drafted 22nd overall, 6-5 in his rookie year, 7-4 overall. In this season. the AFC South, Texans, CJ Stroud, drafted 2nd overall in the 1st round of the 2023 NFL Draft, and he is 6-5 in 2023. Ryan Tannehill was drafted in the 2012 draft, 1st overall or 8th overall. And Will Levis was drafted in the 2nd round, 33 overall in the 2023 NFL Draft. He is 2-3. Trevor Lawrence, 1st overall in the 2021 draft, 3-14 record, 8-3 in 2023. What do I mean by this? Because this is a long list, and I don't want to just bore you guys with list names. But I made this list specifically because looking at it, and if you guys want, go do your own research on this. I'm going to show you right now, you guys. I want to show you what I sent Sean, because I had to send Sean to it. I had to send Sean it because it helps me share it with you guys. This is all my notes right here. All my notes of every quarterback, where they were drafted, their rookie record. And what does that mean for the Raiders, you may ask? Well, this shows me two things. It shows me that, yes, we have to be patient with Aiden OConnell, because we don't know what he can bring. We don't know his potential. I've done every quarterback, and the thing is, some of these quarterbacks who turned out pretty good. Even look at Jared Goff, 8-3 record with the Lions. He was 4-12 with the Rams in his rookie season. Josh Dobbs, a lot of people are saying he's killing it. He has a 7-13 record and was 1-7 with the Cardinals. And he's 2-2 with the Vikings right now. There's a lot of guys on here. And even check out Jalen Hurts, you guys. He had a 10. Where's Jalen Hurts? He had a 4-10-1 record in his rookie year and a 10-1 record this season. I'm telling you guys that AO4 does deserve a chance, but the Raiders still got to draft a quarterback. Now, we could go back to that list. And what is the other common thing that I see? Well, most of these guys are drafted earlier in the earlier round. We got a bunch of, first rounders, second rounders. We got a couple third rounders, and maybe like 3, 4 three or four fourth rounders. And you know what's funny, you guys? Dak Prescott and Con was drafted in the same pick at the 135th pick. He also shared with someone else. I think it was, let me see. It was Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs, Aiden O'Connell, and Dak Prescott were drafted in the fourth round at the 135th overall pick in their separate drafts. Now, what could that mean? Well, Dak Prescott, in my opinion, is one of the most overhyped quarterbacks in the league, but he gets it done, but he also has a well-structured team around him. Josh Dobbs has been bouncing all over the league, from the Steelers to the Vikings to the Cardinals. I believe he went to the Chargers at one point. A lot. He's bounced a lot. We don't know with AO, but we also don't know with the next year's draft. You got Jaden Daniels coming out of LSU. You got Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix. You got a lot of quarterbacks that potentially you could take in the first and the second round that you can hit on these quarterbacks. And my point is that there is new quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in today's NFL. This is not being ran by a pocket pass league, because Aiden O'Connell was showing me that too, that he is a pocket passer. He's a pocket passer, and that is not today's NFL. It is dual threat quarterbacks. Another thing I've seen is Mahomes, dual threat. Yeah, he can throw in the pocket, but he knows when he needs to run. Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, dual threat. Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's he's not really dual threat, but all three of those dual threat. CJ Stroud, Ryan Tannehill, Will Levis, Trevor Lawrence, dual threat. Mac Jones, he's not a dual threat. He was 10-7 his rookie year and 2-9 this year. Zach Wilson, he's just a complete bust. Tua, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Sam Howell, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, again, knows when he needs to run. Geno Smith, Matt Stafford, 2-8 his rookie year, 5-6 his current record right now. You got Jared Goff. He's probably but he knows when to run too. But he's mainly a pocket passer. He's probably one pocket passing quarterback that is flourishing. Josh Dobbs, Jordan Love, Justin Fields, dual threat. Desmond Ridder, dual threat. Derek Carr, not a dual threat. Baker Mayfield, dual threat. Bryce Young, dual threat. This league is starting to become a league full of dual threat quarterbacks, you guys. Dual threat quarterbacks, and we have to take notice of it. As in going into the next year's draft, we have to take notice. We need a dual threat quarterback in our QB room. I'm not saying we need to, we draft our quarterback and they kick Aiden O'Connell out the way. No. Aiden O'Connell and that rookie battle it out for the starting job. Let them earn it. Let them earn it. And Sean says he sent me. Sean, can you send it again, brother? Because I don't see it. Oh, I seen you send me, but can you send it again? Because I think it's like way up. It's like way up. Van Cedia says half this fan base has either got dropped on their heads as children or they have an extra chromosome. I don't know, Van Cedia. It seems some fans just want to be miserable. They want to be miserable. That is my take on the quarterback situation. I am not going to be one of those guys that's going to be. I'm all for, and it's either Aiden O'Connell, for the future or nobody. I'm not going to hate on the kid, but I'm not going to praise the kid either, as if he's doing great, great things. Is he being efficient for a rookie quarterback? Is he, managing the game well as a rookie quarterback? He is, but he's not doing anything that makes me think this guy can take us to the playoffs. This guy can, we build around him. He can get us to a Super Bowl. Now, of course, 4 straight games in, 5 games overall under his belt. It isn't a lot to see what we got in the kid, but I would rather us play safe, have them battle it out, rather than being handcuffed to Aiden OConnell. And that is who we're stuck with. If it goes right, then it goes right. We're smooth sailing and we got a rookie quarterback being a backup. Or this thing goes south and we could give the reins to the rookie quarterback. And then if we don't draft a quarterback and this thing goes south, we're stuck with Aiden. We gotta figure it out. If it's a quarterback issue, what are we gonna do? You don't want to put yourself in that situation. I seen that, AP. Pierce was at the Oregon-Washington game last night. He was probably scouting Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix, both of them, both respective quarterbacks, they played their hearts out in that game. They played their hearts out in that game. I like Michael Penix in that game. Had an amazing deep ball. It seemed Bo Nix pushed the ball down the field, but Michael Penix was throwing absolutely beautiful, beautiful deep balls to his receivers in that game. Sean said, sounded like some rookies that are good. What was bad their rookie year, like that Trevor Lawrence, and it is, Sean. That's why I say we need to give Aiden OConnell kind of the benefit of the doubt, because some of those, some of these quarterbacks in the rookie year, they didn't have a good year, and now the team builds around them and they're balling out. But the one thing Aiden has to fix is his mobility. He has to become a dual threat, or at least. To Hondo's point, Mahomes, when he came into quarterback the Chiefs, he knows I'm better helping this team at a chance of winning when I play from the pocket, when I throw the football from the pocket. But if the play doesn't work, I know when to run. That is the type of quarterback Hondo said he wants. Does he see that with Aiden? I don't know. With me, I don't see that with Aiden. I see that he is a true pocket passer. You have to make that offensive line be absolutely perfect for him not to get hit, to give him all day in the pocket, because he is not going to run. He is not going. He may run here and there, but to expect that on a game to week in and week out, every single game, he's not. That's not going to be. That's not the type of quarterback he is. He is he is in the trajectory of going to that. I would say he does remind me a lot of DC right now. Like the playing style, I would say. Pocket passer. Derek Carr is a pocket passer. Aiden OConnell is a pocket passer. Will they take off here and there? They will. But will they do that week in and week out? No, they won't. So we would have to build around Aiden OConnell. But my worry is, what if building around the quarterback isn't enough because you still need that playmaker at the quarterback position? Could Aiden make every throw? Can he next season or in 2 seasons from now, can he compete with Patrick Mahomes? Because that is who we're playing against, you guys. That is who we have to compete. Our quarterbacks have to compete with Patrick Mahomes. Can you go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes? And a lot of people are saying, well, Aiden outperformed Patrick. Well, Patrick is walking away with the W. Okay, I don't care about stats. Can he not only go toe-to-toe with Patrick, can you beat Patrick? Can you beat the Chiefs? Can you do something that none of the quarterbacks have done in the past seasons? Really, it was only Derek Carr. Because before that, Carson Palmer, Chiefs were trash. Chiefs were absolutely trash. That Carson Palmer had his way. Jason Campbell had his way. But if Aiden OConnell can beat the Chiefs, that's what I'm hoping for. Can he beat the Chiefs? AP says, call me crazy, but honestly, with where we are at currently, I would trade Tay. If the Jets gave us their 2 firsts and a player, I would do it. Or if you trade up, stay with whoever has first overall. AP, I wouldn't mind that. You know why? Because then you go get a Washington duo, the Washington wide receiver, and then you get Michael Penix. Sean actually gave me his name. Me and Sean, let me see. Shout out to the Raiders insider. He is the Ian Rappaport of Raider Nation, Sean Johnson. I gotta see because he brought up a great idea. Great idea. It was Rome Duzane, Washington's wide receiver, and then you go get Michael Penix Jr. at the quarterback position, or you can go get Jaden. You could go get Jaden Daniels and go get the top LSU wide receiver. You got your quarterback wide receiver connection right there. If you trade Tay, you got your quarterback wide receiver connection right there. It's almost like the Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase duo down in Cincinnati. Copycat league, as the Sean Johnson would say. It's copycat league. Sean says, yeah, it shows me we need to give AOC more time, but you draft a quarterback, get that competition going. And Sean, what if this brings the best out of Aiden? Also, no one's talking about that. What if drafting a quarterback brings the best out in Aiden? Because Aiden wants to earn this job. And it brings the best out of him. The Raiders in 2016, I believe, they drafted Connor Cook. I think it was like the 4th, 5th round. They drafted Connor Cook. Who's to say that didn't lit a fire under Derek Carr's seat? And that brought the best out of Derek Carr in 2016. Because in 2015, Derek Carr had 32 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, passed over 3,500 yards, but he was not clutch that season. He was known for the turnovers late in the season or late in the game during that season. And then 2016, they draft a quarterback. And then he flips it around, and he's not losing games. He has 5-6 game-winning drives that season. Who's to say that did not light a fire under Derek Carr? And maybe drafting a quarterback will light a fire under Aiden O'Connell and will bring the best out of him. Sean said, but Aiden O'Connell was done. No favors, McDummy set him up for failure. And this is fact, Sean. He didn't do nothing for Aiden. Salute to Jason. AOC is playing better than expected as a 4th-round, 3rd-string quarterback. Raiders don't owe him anything. He's getting a lot of good experience right now, but you still draft a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round as competition. That's what I'm saying, Jason. That's what I'm saying, but it's not just for the sake of competition, right? If you're drafting a quarterback, it can't just be for competition. It's got to be that this is our backup plan. If Aiden O'Connell doesn't work out, this is our backup plan. This is the guy that we're going to turn to. Because you got to have a backup plan. The Niners were lucky that Brock Purdy, became Brock Purdy. They drafted Trey Lance, and then a year, 2 years later, they drafted Brock Purdy. But they already knew what they were getting with Trey Lance after that. That's why they're like, we need to go draft a quarterback. We don't really need him right now, but let's still go draft a quarterback. And also, Kyle Shanahan does have a lot to do with it too. We need a fatter, beefy O-line. Upgrades like Andre James, too small and light. Sean, and he showed that on the 4th and 1 play with Josh Jacobs, where Josh Jacobs basically got gang tackled by the Chiefs on that 4th and 1 late in the game. Andre James showed that we need to go address the center position and get a beefier center. Super says quarterback has to compete with Patrick Mahomes. Can AOC or can Jaden Daniels or can Bo Nix? And that is the question, but also can he beat them? And yeah, Derek Carr did it. He didn't beat him though. He beat him one time? He beat him one time. Quinn Ewers was balling today, low-key. Wish he was coming out this year. I'm about to go watch some of the college football recap. Been spending a lovely day with my girlfriend. So I'm gonna try to get caught up on the action that's going around in college football. Quinn just okay. Reminds me of Taylor Heineke, turnover prone but gutsy. I like Taylor Heineke. He was gutsy, but man, he turn over the ball a lot. Derek Carr never was the same after he wrecked his back. He wasn't getting hurt under any circumstances, and he's proven that. He proved that. Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. Hit that like, share the link around. We're about to wrap it up. We're over an hour, but I want to get your more of your comments in. Sean Johnson says, I love this last game. No turnovers and 0 penalties. And they were close to the time of possession with the Chiefs, Sean, and we still lost that game. It just goes, your quarterback, Aiden didn't lose the game. And I never will say that he lost that game because he didn't lose that game. But he didn't do enough to win the game either. Him and the entire offense didn't do enough to the offensive line, to the receivers, to the running back, to him. They didn't do enough. And we need a quarterback that can carry the offense. And I know a lot of people are like, well, let's build around Aiden. The wide receivers do not make the quarterback great. Some of them could. If the quarterback gets them the ball. Because it doesn't matter if you have elite receivers on the outside and elite running back. The quarterback has to get them the ball. The offensive line has to block. But the offensive line is not going to keep you protected, having giving you a clean pocket for 60 minutes a game. There's going to be sometimes you have to improvise and scramble from the pocket and extend the play or run for the first down. On a 4th and 2, on a 4th and 1, on a 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. I'm talking to someone that we used to have that didn't take those chances. Carr had a record for overtime wins, just didn't win enough. Too much coaching turnover and ruin after leg broken this fast. And that's what I think. It's good that he got released from the Raiders. I know it hurt from a Raider Nation standpoint and from him, but going through all of that, it was time for him to get a new chapter with someone else, and then for us to figure our stuff out over here and build for the future. AOC is great if Raiders had 4th-ranked pass/run defense in the NFL, and Josh is averaging 5.6 yards per carry. And that's true, Super. But there is going to be times, even my thing is, there's going to be not every game can be dependent on a great defense, a great running game, and great receivers. Sometimes your quarterback, there's going to be those games where your quarterback has to step up and has to throw for 4 touchdowns, or has to throw for 5 touchdowns, or has to run for a first down, or run 10 yards for a touchdown. There's going to be those types of games. And if Aiden can't do that, if it's a 2-touchdown week in and week out game from Aiden, then you got to move. You can't wait. You can't wait. Jerome Clemens. I like Keon Coleman out of Florida State as a wide receiver. I know Florida State's been coming out a lot of talent this upcoming draft. Yeah, bro. We still lost that game, man. We still lost that game. It's crazy. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see that. All right. I'm gonna bring that up, Sean. Don't ruin it for me, Jerome. I want to watch it. AP said, imagine we traded Tay for a high pick and drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. Maserati Marv. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. on the Raiders with Jaden Daniels. Oh, bro, AP, do not get me excited, man. Do not get me excited. Hey, bro, we just went out for a coffee date. Wanted to treat her out. She wanted to go to the bookstore, read some books. That's her thing. Luckily they had some books in there that I like. They had some sports novels in there. It's sad they don't have no Raider stuff. It's all filled with Niner stuff now. I'm like, man, that's the one thing I miss about the Raiders being out here. At least we had some of our stuff out here. Now it's like they're just taking that stuff too. Super. If Carr played recklessly as Josh Allen, he'd still be here and we'd have a ring. He was too careful at times, needed to let it hang. Gruden scared him into conformity, in my opinion. And yeah, you're right, Super. Like, and the thing is, in 2016, Carr had that where he took chances. It was crazy. He didn't turn the ball over a lot. He had 6 interceptions when passing, and he had 28 touchdowns. But he took a lot of those chances. And he was still accurate with the football. And then after that, it's like he lost it. And I believe that injury messed him up. Those 2 injuries, the back and the leg, they messed up his psyche. He was in his head too much. Sean Johnson, red zone touchdowns was what decided the 14-point loss. We was 1 for 3. They was 3 for 4. That's why we lost that game. It was deciding factor. And Sean, again, to help that red zone woes is a dual threat quarterback. A quarterback that can take it in for a 13-yard run, a 6-yard run, that doesn't have to rely on his arm where he's like, hey, the hole's open, I'm taking off. We need that type of quarterback. And I'm hoping if it's, to make a case for Aiden, I'm hoping Aiden can develop that. Move, taking off when you need to. It doesn't always have to be, a throw. Like if the running lane is there and no one's open, take off. Take off and run. Carr got Zay Jones paid and big wide receiver Matt Collins paid, and Seth Roberts bailed him out a lot of times. But that ship has sailed, just teasing. I also thought tight end Darren Waller needed to do more. And there was a lot around Super. And I think Josh, what's coming out with Josh McDaniels, I don't think that helped either. I do believe that the work relationship between Derek and Josh, it just wasn't there. It wasn't there. I don't think Cameron Ward is going to come out this year. He entered the transfer portal, and I hope he comes to my Buckeyes so we can finally not lose to Michigan. And I got it, man, AP, and that's another guy I've been a little high on. And if he's not, I mean, that sucks. But that also then pushes the Raiders' notion, go draft a quarterback. Go draft a quarterback. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. It was fun rocking with you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing Saturday night. If this is your first time watching Raiders Primos, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you're a return subscriber, you already know what it is. Hit them thumbs and hit that bell so you guys are not missing anything. Also, share the link around with any Raider fans that love talking Raiders football, that love just talking football in general. Bringing them our way. And let's talk some Raiders football. And we'll see what else comes out. It is our bye week, you guys. Tomorrow we get to sit back and watch some football. Hopefully the Chiefs lose, the Chargers lose. Hopefully everyone we dislike, they lose. I hope no one wins. All I care about is the Raiders winning. Peace out, you guys. I love y'all. Appreciate you guys. We is out.